Tell me about Dust Bunny.
Dust Bunny. Dust Bunny stars a little girl and Mads Mikkelsen. The little girl, she she's afraid of the dust bunny underneath her bed. There's a monster living there, and one night, the she hears in the her she's in her bedroom at night, and on the other side of the door hears her foster parents apparently being eaten by a monster. So she needs to do something about it. And she notices her neighbor, Mads Mikkelsen, who's kind of a rough guy. And she follows him into Chinatown and watches him promptly kill a dragon. But what he was really doing was killing a bunch of Chinese gangsters in a dragon suit. And so she gets in her mind, I'm going to hire him to kill my monster. And now Mads's character, he has to, he clearly thinks she's crazy, but he plays along. And also, he's in a bit of trouble himself. He's an assassin, and there's all that assassin-y stuff in it. And so this movie really is about this relationship between him and the girl, and what he believes to her is a hallucination, but to her something very real. And the movie kind of plays out. Is it real, or is it just in her imagination?
Yeah. Well, okay. So, this is also it needs to be mentioned. Sigourney Weaver is in this.
Oh, and it should also be mentioned that it's written and directed by Brian Fuller.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So this is Brian Fuller making a movie in the Fullerverse, which includes
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies show, which had a weird premise where he could bring someone back to life who had died,
right,
by touching them. But once they're brought back to life, if they are touched by him again, they will die.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings back the love of his life and can't touch her ever.
Yeah. And I'll say I really love Pushing Daisies. I was really sad when they canceled it after our first season.
Yeah, it's so this movie, let's get into it. This movie, put Brian Fuller aside. This is like a fairy tale that's not for kids. Aurora, the little girl played by Sophie Sloan, is great. And the visuals, the way everything is sort of set up, it feels like a Tim Burton movie because it's fanciful. It's for kids. The visuals are
very surreal.
It's very surreal. The monster coming out of the floorboards and descending back into the floorboards. I mean, there are parts of this movie that feel like floor jaws, if it makes any sense. Floor jaws. You don't want to. It's like the floor. They even make a joke. The floor is not lava. It's like, and why is that a thing? Even I grew up as a kid in the 70s. We would play the game. We'd put pillows in our living room and jump around on pillows because the floor was lava. All right. How did that game just organically spread around?
Because you're bored and only have pillows to play with.
We didn't have apps when I was a kid. But anyways, this movie feels like a Tim Burton, an over the top Tim Burton on acid, so to speak. It's dark and scary, but it's also from a kid's POV. It's from Aurora's point of view. She tries to hire Mads Mikkelsen's character because she believes him to be an assassin to take out this monster.
Yeah, well, she saw him kill a monster, and therefore she thinks he can kill this monster.
Yeah, which was not a monster per se, but she saw it as a monster. And the way that sequence plays out, I mean, there's a full 20 minutes of this movie where no one talks. Which I was great. It's refreshing. It also feels like a graphic novel in a way. I don't know if it's based on a graphic novel, but it had that very their shadows and lighting is used. A lot of digital effects are used in a very original way. Mads Mikkelsen is great. Sigourney Weaver is just
okay.
Her character is kind of wacky.
You could have recast her and still have gotten the same performance.
Yeah. But I'll recommend it. I'll recommend Dust Bunny just for its originality. But I'll say this. it's not for kids. It's really, I mean, I would say young teens for sure, but single digit age kids will probably find this to be too frightening.
See, I'll challenge that for a moment.
Okay.
I think the elements that are not for kids is the violence in terms of, it's basically gangster violence.
Mhm.
But in terms of, we talked about Disney and we talked about old Disney having dark elements. This is certainly that. It is taking just the dark elements and bringing it to life. And so, I'm watching this thinking, wow, this is like a horror film for kids. And I think, look, when I was a kid, I could deal with gangster violence. So, maybe if you have to know your kid to know whether they would enjoy a movie like this, but I
Right.
think it's certainly kids could watch this.
Yeah. Uh, I think you have to gauge your
Yeah.
kids.
Mhm.
My kids, I kind of knew by a certain age what movies they were ready for.
Yeah.
You can't just throw up, PG-13 on it for everything. You've got to really evaluate, what makes sense. So, yeah, it's so original, so weird. I saw it with a packed audience. I believe it's going to go wide. It's not in that many theaters,
Hmm.
but catch it while it's in theaters. I think, knowing Brian Fuller's past work, I recommend it.
Yeah, this is definitely a Brian Fuller film, and if you're a fan of his, you're gonna love this one. My biggest qualm is the animation, especially the opening animation. It just felt so um, cheap animation. And I get the style he was going for, but you know, Tim Burton did it better, and he was using actual stop motion animation.
Yeah.
And so that's my only real qualm with this movie is the animation.
Also, if you liked Tim Burton when he was peak Tim Burton,
Mhm.
that's what this really is.